Okay, Bitcoin had a rally back up and it pushed above our recent last minor high, attempting a breakout. Now, again, I'm watching this low right here. I talked about two possibilities. One is that we have a bottom right there. We just got a more shallow retracement, a more mild correction. The other possibility is that we still come down and try to take out that low. We have a more complex corrective move. Over here, again, you had a sell-off and a push down, but then you got a big rally back up, but you still went and made new lows. Do we see something like that? The stock market is likely going to peak. Could do it this week, it could do it next week, but it's likely about to happen. Major resistance, approaching it, I should say, on the S&P 500, hovering in that area on the NASDAQ, is overthrowing the levels just a little bit as the S&P plays catch-up. And watch my latest stock market video at the end of this one from earlier today. But here, we dropped below the 50 period, the green line, got back above it, and now we're trying to find support at it and bounce. So again, in order for this to end, you got to be able to clear the resistance zone up here, and you got to be able to have a breakout of the bull flag pattern. Let me change charts and show you. Continue to focus on this inverse head and shoulders. This is what I think is taking Bitcoin much higher. This pattern measures to about 155,000 or so, 156,000, something like that. Now, here is the bull flag. We attempted to break out of it, and at least for now, it looks like it's failed. Now, it still may do it if the bottom is in and going to try to resume the advance. You got to do two things. You got to be able to clear the trend line and break out of this pattern, and then be able to clear the resistance zone up here. Again, this lower high and the peak there at 112,000. You need a breakout, then you need to be able to clear that level, or a breakout, a back test, and then to be able to clear that level if we're going to now resume the advance. And again, this is what I keep talking about in every video. Get a breakout of this pattern if this is the real deal, Don Steele, and you got to be able to clear the resistance zone. We broke the support zone, this pink shaded area, dropped below 100,000, got back above it, but you have a possible ABC move that is done. It's still possible that you have a larger complex move and still end up taking out the 200 period moving average. Bitcoin peaked back on May 22nd for a month ago. So far, we've had this consolidation going sideways to give us a bigger sell-off and a larger Fibonacci retracement over here, or do we just have a more shallow retracement for the right shoulder and are ready to resume the advance? Again, if we get a bigger retracement, if we take out this low, the 200 is down here near a 38.2 Fibonacci. They're at the 95,800 area. Our 50% retracement is at the 91,325 area. This is where the gap fill is on futures. Should we end up getting a bigger sell-off, you have your double bottom confirmation here at 88,500. Below that, our 61.8 Fibonacci is at 87,000 and some change. So those are the levels. Should we end up dropping back below the 50 period, here the green line right there, and end up trying to take out this low. Again, it is very possible we have a bottom in and we just got a shallow retracement, our pullback. But if that's the case, we need to see evidence of that by a breakout of the bull flag, a breakout of overhead resistance, as I have said. The stock market peaks and we begin to see NASDAQ and S&P pull back. Bitcoin might get another leg down. That is certainly possible. What could do that? Well, we've been watching different catalysts. What could anything rattle the stock market? So far, it's not been able to. War, that hasn't been able to, in the Middle East, that hasn't been able to rattle stock market. I mean, we're still moving to new highs. Negative GDP, Moody's downgrade, trade talks falling apart. We've seen thing after thing not being able to rattle the market. But they get this big, beautiful bill in the House. The Senate version passed, and then they got to re-vote on it in the House of Representatives. Pass it today or tomorrow. Trump's going to sign it into law on the 4th of July. That's what he's been wanting to do, is have that to him by the 4th of July, Independence Day. It might be at some point next week if they don't have the votes to get it through. It could be we see the yields begin to spike up because of concerns about excessive government debt levels once the bill passes. And I've talked about this in my stock video. I talked about this over on X, formerly Twitter. Could the big beautiful bill give us one big beautiful sell-off? Could be the catalyst. Stock market does begin to sell off. Could Bitcoin follow? We'll be watching. This is a possible bottom here, but we need more evidence of a breakout, of clearing overhead resistance, and right now you don't have that happening. Tempted a breakout, and so far kind of stalled here at the upper boundary of the bull flag pattern. Not only do we have to be able to break out of the bull flag if we're going to have this mark this as a bottom, but then we also need to clear the resistance zone. But directly above that, you have these trend lines. This one, again, excluding the shadows from the peaks over here, from this high, you got to be able to clear that. That's where we turned off of at the 112,000 area. And this one over here from these highs. So again, you got to be able to clear those levels as well. So we got to be able to get back above 112,000 over here, the peak over here, the 112,000 high, and then we have to be able to clear these other trend lines. MACD is in positive territory. Stochastic rolled over at extremes, but it's turning back up. So again, it may remain at extremes for an extended period of time if we could try to break out. But if we get another lower high here, lower than the peak over here, okay, and we end up losing that 50-period moving average, then the risk is the MACD rolls back over. If it can remain in positive territory, you can get a breakout, you can clear the resistance zone. That's very, very bullish. If you get rejection and a failed breakout, then that's going to be a sign of weakness. Mark here again, question mark. Do we have the right shoulder done here with just a more shallow retracement? Again, talking about this pattern, predicting we come up to one of these trend lines and then pull back and get the right shoulder. And you got a moon boy or two now starting to talk about it. If they told us it wasn't going to happen, there's no way. They said it's a breakout, as they always do. It's a fake out. Moon boys always see these things after they happen. We're looking for clues right here because we are going sideways. So again, this move may not be done, and if we end up getting another push down, then you're going to have more moon boys jumping on the bandwagon, because they told us we would have a breakout and we were just going to keep going. No looking back. Got a safe face and cover the pattern. Long after I warned you, it was forming, which again, it very well could be done here if we do have just more of a shallow retracement. Open-minded to that. Again, I do believe Bitcoin's going much higher. It's just I'm not sure which area will play out because we are just going sideways. Here are the two possibilities, I think, and that is that we either finish the correction and we have a more complex correction. I've marked this as wave 1 being done over here. We have wave 1 or wave WX, and then we have another complex corrective move with W here, possibly X over here. Again, we still got to clear this resistance zone. You see this pink area? Tried to break out here, pull back to the trend line. All that on the daily chart. We tried to clear it and we couldn't do it. On a closing basis here on the daily chart, you need to be able to clear this area and clear the shaded pink area, the resistance zone from the peak here and from the peak over here. What has to happen to resume the advance? If this is just a larger WXY, then we get another leg down and we still get a corrective move that could take us anywhere from 87,000 to 93,000. This is the Bitcoin 4-hour chart. This is the complex correction that says, hey, the complex correction, it's not done yet. Sideways, we're seeing the moving averages crisscross back and forth. The 50 got back below the 200. The black line, the 50 is a green. 50 got back above it, back below it, back above it. We're going sideways. Could give us a bigger dump or it could give us a breakout. The consolidation for a continuation pattern with the bull flag, or is this a larger complex corrective move? And again, another future, we're just looking at price, and price is going sideways. Indicators are mixed because price is going sideways. Cloud, you're above the cloud, below the cloud, above the cloud, below the cloud, above it, and back and forth. It shows us we're going sideways. So again, is wave 2 down here and we get another leg down if the stock market drops? B, that's still very, very possible, still on the table. Are forming a divergence on the MACD. The MACD, we had a divergence right here. That gave us a sell-off back to the 200 right there. Little divergence right there. Now we're getting another divergence. This is what's happening on the S&P 500. We're getting divergences on the 60-minute charts and the daily charts. Do we see something like that in the 4-hour time frame that gives us a sell-off? We had a divergence right here, and now we get another reference point of a divergence right here. Keep that in mind. You still have negative divergences that are forming as we're underneath the resistance zone, is what you need to be able to clear to turn this around. Here's the bullish scenario for Bitcoin. Now this is the 4-hour chart as well. And here, again, I've marked this as a wave 1 completing here. Let me just zoom out here for a second just so you can see these divergences again up close. You can see the divergences, multiple point divergences developing here on the RSI and on the MACD, very similar to what we have in the S&P and the NASDAQ. So the deal, again, this count assumes that we've already bottomed out and we just had a more shallow retracement in completing wave 1 here, and that we've completed an ABC move for W, another ABC for X, and another ABC for Y, and that completed wave 2, and the sell-off is over, and that now getting a higher low, or going to pull back and get a higher low. It's above this low, which was just under 100,000. So those are the two scenarios I think that are in play. One is that we're already done with the sell-off here with the WXY completed. One, a WXY complex correction is not yet completed. Now here with this wave 1 right here, if we've now bottomed out and we're starting third wave, if wave 2 right there is done, wave 1 over here, wave 2 over here, we're now starting wave 3, then what do we have here? Possible wave 1 completing here, and then we have A, B for an expanded flat, and C and wave 2 is complete. And that is done, and we're now on our way. We're going to get a breakout right here, right now, and clear the resistance zone. Okay, so that would be that we have a 1 and a 2, and we're done. Similar, we have what could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to complete the 1 here, and this is an ABC for 2, and we're done. So both of those counts here with the ABC here or an ABC here, both of those suggest that wave 1 and 2 possibly be complete. It is too early to tell. You would have to see confirmation of that. Now another possibility is that we still go beyond this low that we just had at the 200 period moving average here in the 4-hour time frame, and that we have a 1 and 2 didn't finish here, but we have an A or maybe a W, an A with a question mark, possibly a B, and that we now get a C down here somewhere, and we get higher low scenario, but the pullback for wave 2 is not yet done. So that is the bullish scenario that is suggesting that we are done. And again, it is too early to tell. You know the future? I don't. Look at indicators, mathematically based indicators. I look at support and resistance. Now, I can tell you we are going sideways. Wave of speculation, and again, counts can get invalidated. This is what I'm telling you I think is going on. I think we're in this corrective move. Whether it's done here or whether we get one more push down in our other count remains to be seen. Quickly, this is the bigger picture of what I think is going on. Again, I believe that we have a 5-leg push higher that is under construction right here, that we've finished wave 1 at the May 22nd peak. We've got a pullback that maybe wave 2 is done, maybe it's not, maybe there's more work to be done as we just looked at. If it's done, we're going to get the wave 3, 4, and 5, and we're going to go much higher. Trend line is my target. A date is not my target. Number is not my target. Whenever we reach this trend line, if we take our time reaching it, you're going to be at higher levels, closer to 200,000. 175, 180, 190,000, something like that. If you reach it sooner rather than later, you'll be at lower levels, 150,000. That's where I think Bitcoin is eventually going. We completed the bottom in 2022. The blue count here, wave 4. I think you have a wave 1. I think you have 2. Let me do that again, darker. 1, 2 with the red count. I think this whole thing's 3 right there. Roman numeral 3, number 4. And you're going to get Roman numeral number 5 with these 5 waves higher. That will complete cycle top. The blue count is a super cycle. Completed 4 here. This whole 5-leg push higher is the 5th wave with the blue count. I'm going to be bullish on Bitcoin longer term until we reach this area. Once we reach this area, I'm going to get very bearish, because I think the top will be in. My count will be done. But right now, I'm short-term bearish. I think we get this pullback. Maybe that's over with now with just a shallow pullback. We need more evidence. Whenever this wave 2 is done, we're going to get wave 3, 4, and 5, and we're going to go much higher. Eventually, we will peak. And when we get up here, nobody's going to think it's a top. And they're going to be going Bitcoin 500,000, Bitcoin 1 million, you know, and so-called experts are telling us Bitcoin's going to be at $3 million. And Bitcoin is likely in this cycle going to go up here into this trend line, and it's going to top there, and you're probably going to come back, going to crash about 80 or 90%. That's what Bitcoin does. Now I'm bullish, there I'll be bearish. Right now I expect a bigger pullback, higher low scenario. This is what I think is coming. So again, I remain longer term bullish until we reach that trend line right there. Bitcoin is trendless. Okay, down here we got the bottoming signals. You know, we had the sell-off, and then we kind of went sideways for our double bottom pattern. Okay, saw the signals turn bullish. The trend was bullish, and now we're neutral. We're going sideways, as you can see here. So again, do we come back and break this support zone? Remember, we hit the support area, and then we got a bottoming tail, and that's when we had that bottoming signal on several of my indicators formed a bottoming signal. I think it was June 22nd on that Sunday. Come back and take out this level here, this previous support zone here from this low and the low here, trying to bounce off of it, or do we break to the upside? But right now, we're just going sideways, and that's what the indicators are telling us. Get a resolution down or up. Please support the channel with the link directly below. That allows me to be able to provide you this information. If you like the charts, you like the indicators, let me know that by supporting the channel today. Follow the link below to take you to a secured site, and you can donate any amount you want or make it a recurring donation. If you do that, I thank you. If you could just take a moment to partner with me, I would really, really appreciate that. Channels make their money through sponsorship. I choose not to do that. If you like the charts and you like the indicators, if you could just help out and let me know that you like this information, you want this information, I would really appreciate that. I thank you for your consideration for that. Video, I'll be showing you some of my amazing indicators. Again, we've got a mixed bag right here. Again, we're trying to break out of the bull flag pattern, but again, you got to be able to clear the overhead resistance zone in order to turn this around and be able to, I didn't draw that right there. You got to be able to clear this resistance zone and clear this ribbon right there. If you're going to turn it around and you're going to see Bitcoin turn bullish, you got to be able to clear that ribbon, and you got to be able to clear that resistance zone and break out of the bull flag, which we attempted to do today, but it failed at least so far. So that's what has to happen. And we got to be able to get back above 112,000, which was our May 22nd peak. We saw the bars turn red over December. They remained red. Even with the rally attempt in January, couldn't flip it, couldn't flip the cloud, or I'm sorry, the ribbon and get back above it. Same thing here. We're stalling at the ribbon, at least so far. We still have red bars below the ribbon. Had red bars all the way down till we flipped it right here, and you got the blue bars. You got back above the ribbon. You got the blue candles, and you came back. You reaffirmed the signal here, but then you got that lower high, and you flipped the signal right there. Talked about that at the time. I'm just telling you, if Bitcoin's going to turn it around, you got to clear that resistance zone, and you got to clear that ribbon. You got to be able to get back above it and stay above it, meaning you have to get back above the 112,000 area. A week and a half ago, June 22nd, I gave you this bottoming signal on that Sunday close. I posted it on X, formerly Twitter, and then the very next morning I told you about it. Morning, the rally, and we saw this move back above the orange line. So again, is a correction done? This is telling us either we have a short-term bottom in or correction is over. We saw this signal here because we are going to have either a pullback or a reversal. We got a reversal with this sell-off. So far, it's been more of a mild pullback. Do we end up getting something bigger? Still possible. Bars, again, going back and forth from blue to red to blue to red, blue to red. Got a breakout. If this is over, got to see evidence of that. Not an attempted breakout of a bull flag that has failed so far, but we got to see evidence. We got to get a breakout. We got to clear the overhead resistance zone, clear the ribbon I've been talking about. So we're seeing signals mixed, again, going back and forth from bearish to bullish to bearish to bullish, back and forth. Again, if we have signals remain bullish and we get a breakout, be a sign of strength. If the breakout fails and we can't clear the resistance zone, then that is a sign of weakness. I have mixed signals. Some signals are bullish, some signals are bearish. That's because Bitcoin is going sideways. It's telling you what Bitcoin is doing. If Bitcoin were trending down, it would be looking like this, red. If it was trending up, it'd be looking like this. But it's doing this. And that's why, again, we might have that bull flag pattern that might be a continuation if we can clear the resistance zone. So just to let you know, again, signals are mixed. Some signals that are bullish, others are bearish. Right here, got a bullish signal, but we are just going sideways. Again, down, sideways, up, sideways. Same thing here. Again, back and forth, green to red, green to red. Okay, we're going sideways. Possible bull flag in play. Going up here, going down here. Right now, we're going sideways. Bars red going down, bars blue going up, back and forth, sideways. Currently blue here. So we attempted to break out of this bull flag, and at this point, it looks like it's failed. It's right at that upper trend line. But again, back and forth with the bars. They can remain blue, and we get a breakout, we clear the resistance zone, then that's going to be positive. But again, back at the top right here, got red bars. They remained red until we got the bottom. Then they flipped right here, and then they turned blue, and they remained blue up until we got the top. And then we started going the sideways. So again, they're telling us what's going on. You may not like that. Not like that we're going sideways. Money is made when we're trending up or down by long positions or short positions. Again, do we have a continuation pattern, or is this correction not yet done? Or is it just more of a shallow correction? Could be done, but we have to see evidence of that. And again, mixed bag of signals. Here, momentum is bullish. You got a blue line going back and forth from blue to red to blue to red, back and forth, now back to blue. You got blue bars going back and forth from blue to red, back to blue here. But the trend is still bearish. You got to be able to clear the cloud. You got to be able to clear the resistance zone if you're going to turn it around. Right now, what we're doing here is what we did back over here in January. We're turning things blue, trying to test the cloud, but we're not getting above it, at least not so far. So I'm just telling you, if we're going to turn things around right here, right now, you got to be able to clear the resistance zone. You got to be able to clear the cloud here. You got to be able to clear the ribbon. Talked about bulls need to step up to the plate and give us a legitimate breakout. If this is the real deal, Don Steele, and not some fake, phony, baloney, plastic banana, good time rock and roll fake breakout, the real deal.